Here are some tips and advice on designing your Lino design. So the theme for our Lino this term is a connection to your local community. Now this could mean basically a group of people who live or grow together. Please use this list to help you get some ideas. So first of all, we're going to create a mind map of all your community connections. After you've made your mind map in your art book, you need to be choosing 2 to 4 keywords that you might find best reflects where you're from. You need to have 2 to 3 aspects of the community, and please don't just focus on a sport team. Try to add text, animals, plants, etc. You might even take some inspiration from badger baits and add an aerial map design. So here's an example of a mind map. I've digitized mine. So as you can see, I've got some local plants, local animals, farming, but then I've gone off and added a little bit more information per one. So I'm going to look at my mind map after I've finished it and then choose 2 to 3 aspects to begin with for my design. So I might choose art, perhaps farming, and maybe some local plants. So to begin, we're just going to use a 2H pencil and also to grab an eraser. Now, I don't have a piece of lino with me, so I have got a fill-in. You're going to trace a piece of lino twice in your art book. You're doing it twice so that you have 2 spaces for some drafting. You might even like to label it. Draft 1 and draft 2, and now you're ready to draft some potential designs. Here is a draft that I've prepared earlier. I've written some notes for myself for some things that I wanted to do my design about. Please think about adding some text and or a border around your design. I decided that I didn't actually quite like that one, so I decided to do my second draft and make some improvements. I decided to add a cow face there, but then I realized I made it too small, so I've written a note to myself to make it bigger. Just make sure that the aspects are nice and really large and fill up the page really well. It's really important that you are just kind of sketching when you're drafting. This isn't going to be your final design. It's important just to kind of take note of how big things are across your page and where to place things. Once you have a draft completed, you're ready now to begin your final design. At least 30 or 50% of your design needs to have large areas of blocked out black areas. Otherwise, you're going to have too much white paper and then your design will be boring. Everything is either black or white. There's no grey in your designs. I'll explain that more when looking at my final design. And you need to make sure you have no thin lines. Make all of your lines at least 4 millimeters thick. Okay, so here is my final design. As you can see, vast improvements. I have made my cow face a lot bigger. I've added some aspects of flora that I think reminds me of Leeton. I decided to add an aerial map of where I live, just so I'm influenced by badger baits. And I'm quite happy with how I have placed everything across the area. So as you can see, the drafting process is very important. Compared to my first draft and my final design, it has greatly improved. So make sure you are doing a draft, please, at least one, before moving on to your final design. Now, as you can see, I have blocked out my areas, they're nice and dark, and I've started to color in what would be black. Please note, this is how your designs will look once they are printed with black block ink. Don't worry, you can use other colors too, like red, blue, yellow, green, and orange, etc. Notice that it is all one solid shade. Think of your design as a clip art graphic. There is only solid color, so you will need to be clever in how to distinguish between shapes. Look at how I have added a white space between the cow's head and the cow's ear. This is because I can't add any grey. Try to think in terms of black and white only, and in shapes. Now you're going to go over all your areas with a 4B pencil to prepare to transfer your design. It will need to be very dark, almost black. Make sure to show your teacher your design before beginning this next step. If you get the green light, your teacher will give you your own lino tile. To begin the transferring process, cut out your design and use masking tape to tape it to your piece of lino. Make sure your design is facing down onto the lino's smooth side. Next, you will need something to apply pressure to the back of your design so that it successfully transfers. Here I'm trying out a red pen, then I tried the ends of scissors, and then I find that a black pencil is actually just as fine to transfer. I suggest to leave one side free of masking tape so that you can check to see if you are pressing hard enough and if your design is transferring successfully. Don't worry, yours will transfer darker than mine. Once you have a clear design transferred, write your name and your class on the back of the tile. Keep both your design and your lino tile safe in your art book. Now you have two options of how your prints will look once they're finished. You have black lines versus white lines. Now, which is better? If you want your subject to be the colour, you will carve out the white background on the lino. To get the inverted look, where the subject is white and the background is the colour, you will carve out the actual lines you draw onto the lino. It's your choice really. Which one do you like better? So in summary, whatever you carve away will not have the ink. You're now ready to design your lino print. Good luck!